Now that the Black Ops 4 community reveal has officially come to a conclusion, I'm finally able to talk about this game. I want to talk about my first impressions, what I think about this game, and of course, kind of address some concerns that people might have in regard to this game. Before we go any further though, I quickly want to thank Activision for flying me down to LA, giving me a hotel to stay in, and of course allowing me to record Black Ops 4 for you guys here on the channel. Now once again, I want to let you guys know this is my first impressions video. I'm going to have a bunch more videos coming very soon. This is just my thoughts on the game on a surface level, what I experienced in the 3 hours that I've played it, and I can't sugarcoat it, guys. This is a very, very different Call of Duty game. Admittedly, it took me about 3 games before I felt comfortable with the new mechanics. So let's start with people's biggest concerns, the health and the health regeneration. So every player's health will now be 150 instead of the standard 100. This is to give a more tactical play style. But even with the 150 health, I still felt like I was dying extremely quickly. Snipers are still one-shot kills. You can still demolish somebody with a sniper rifle. And with that said, if you end up getting into a fight, your health won't regenerate by itself. It's up to you to use a syringe to regenerate your own health. If your health is regenerating and you use your syringe and you end up getting shot, your health will not continue to regenerate. It's really, really weird how they did this, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't think I'm a fan of that. I really don't. It just seems a little bit too far from the Call of Duty pattern. It just adds another layer of frustration when all you want to do is play and chill, but you're trying to micromanage so many different things that's happening at once. It becomes really frustrating at times. That's really all I'm trying to say about it. But once again, we're focusing on one specific thing. We need to look at this with the bigger picture. The reason that they changed the health like this is so we could have a more tactical experience. Being able to take a couple of pop shots and then hiding behind cover to regenerate our health and think about our next plot. But the problem is Call of Duty players don't really think like that. We think like chickens with our heads cut off. We always want to constantly push, we always want to constantly go in, and yeah, that's where a lot of people are going to have to try to change the way they play, and that's what it took me in order to start enjoying this game. If you haven't noticed yet from this gameplay, they brought back specialist characters. Specialists have a way bigger impact in this game because each specialist not only has their own unique piece of equipment, but of course they have their specialist ability that they're able to use. And you may have noticed a few familiar faces like Ruin, Seraph, Battery, and Firebreak. They're back amongst a whole new cast of specialists that you're able to use. Some of these specialists are really unique in the fact that they can assist not only themselves, but also the entire team. So for example, Seraph has a piece of equipment called the Spawn Beacon. This is set on a cooldown timer, and when you place it, you guessed it, your team is able to spawn on that beacon. This is pretty life-changing for modes like Domination, which we'll talk about Domination in just a moment, but that's just one example of how your specialist can help your entire team and not just yourself. Another great example would be specialists like Crash. He's a brand new specialist, and he has the ability to act as the medic. You can actively buff other teammates with your specialist ability, giving them plus 25 additional health on top of their already 150 health, which is pretty good. That means they can survive an additional shot, and every time you actively buff one of your 4 other teammates, you're able to actually get up to 300 health alone for your specialist ability. Now this isn't going to be happening all the time, only while you have that ability active and only after you successfully buff one of your teammates. And yes, you heard that right. Multiplayer is no longer 6v6, it is 5v5. It doesn't seem slower by any means. It actually is still pretty fast-paced, in some cases faster than previous Call of Duty games. Specialists also act a little bit different than they did with Black Ops 3. In BO3, you were able to have a full team of Seraphs. You could have a full team of Ruins with gravity spikes if you really, really wanted to. But in this game, to kind of complement the new tactical style that Treyarch's trying to go with, you're only able to have one specific Ruin on your team. You're only able to have one specific Seraph on your team. So let's say you wanted to play as Ruin, but your teammate chose Ruin. it's going to be locked off. You can't. You have to choose another specialist at that point. There are different specialists that can absolutely complement each other, and that's exactly what Treyarch's trying to get with here. So let's say, for example, you're using Firebreak, and he's got this new Flame Core thing, and every time he's using the Flame Core, he's stuck to it, and he actively loses health. If you're playing as Crash, you can actively buff Firebreak, give him more health so his Flame Core will last longer, which is a cool idea in theory. How many times will this actually happen in game? I guess we're just going to have to play to find out. And of course, all that normal stuff that you've come to know and love in Call of Duty is there. For example, we have score streaks, which they're actually really good, and we'll talk about that in a separate video. We have perks, we have different weapon attachments. Weapons themselves are a little bit different as well. We have something called predictive recoil now. It gives you more control over the recoil on that specific weapon you're using. It's not all completely randomized now. It's more predictive, and you have more control over keeping your weapon centered, and that is awesome. You're going to feel that almost immediately. The other big change that came to this game, and I absolutely love it, is the fact that now as an objective player, I will get credit for the captures that I do, even if I die on a capture. So let's say I'm on the B flag, and me and my team are capturing it, and I'm there for 90% of the capture, but I die right at the end. Normally, in other Call of Duty games, you wouldn't get any credit for that, but in this game, you will get 90% capture points because you were there and you helped your team. That is freaking awesome. I love the fact that they did this, and as an objective player, it's going to really push me to try to capture more objectives and play the objective even more. They changed the way that kill-death ratios work. I mean, it's still similar in a sense, but now it's called EKIA, which is enemies killed in action. You can actually get kills even if you aren't the one to get the kill, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like eliminations now. So let's say I do 80 or 90% damage to an enemy, and my teammate comes in and finishes him off. Both of us will actually get credit for that kill, which is completely cool. Like, I love the idea behind that. Working as a team is really what Treyarch was trying to do here with Black Ops 4. But let's go ahead and take a moment to talk a little bit about the weapons in this game. They all felt really good, and like I said before, there's a new predictive recoil system, meaning each weapon is unique in its own way. Each weapon is almost like its own character. It has its own characteristics, its own kick. It's not all random like in previous Call of Duty games. That weapon will act a certain way, and once you master it, you will be good with it, which is totally awesome, and I'm totally okay with that. Some weapons also have a unique modification that can be placed on it. In order to use this unique modification, you are required to use the wildcard primary gunfighter. If you do this, then you're able to use something like a bayonet on your assault rifle, or a suppressive barrel with a light machine gun. These unique mods will grant specific abilities, so for example, the bayonet will get one-hit melee kills. The suppressive barrel in the light machine gun will allow you to literally suppress enemies if they're in the line of fire. This can be a game changer for specific modes like Control. Alright, so listen guys, I've been sitting here blabbing on talking about things in the game, but I haven't really talked about my personal feelings. Do I like the game? Do I hate the game? If I'm being 100%, and I have to be as brutally honest as possible, I am not a big fan of the healing and the health mechanics. That's not to say I'm not going to adjust. I'll eventually get used to it. That's, a given. That's always going to happen, especially if you just play something new. You have to learn the new mechanics to it. And that's what this Call of Duty is. It's different, it's new, it's unique. But even though I'm saying all these things, it's still Call of Duty at its core. I mean, you're going to feel it right away. You're going to know exactly what to do when you play. The health thing is just, it's different. You just have to learn how to do it. Now, my one complaint is it takes a long time in order to use that syringe in between taking fire, and I think that's where they're trying to be more tactical. If you are an aggressive player, it's really hard to be as aggressive as previous Call of Duty games, just because you don't have constant stream of health regenerating. You have to focus on that syringe. There is a gear that you're able to use, and it allows you to upgrade your syringe. It's called Stim Shot. I really found it hard to play without Stim Shot. That's what I've been using in this gameplay you're watching. It allows you to basically use the syringe after like 1.5 seconds, you can just continuously use it, which is cool. And it instantly gives you 150 health. So I'm hoping that they look into that. Obviously, everything we experienced here is pre-alpha. So once the beta officially rolls out and we get our hands on with it, you know, we can give them feedback and they can make the necessary changes. So yeah, with my honest feedback, and of course taking into consideration that I was playing with a lot of try-hard YouTubers, it was fun. I had a good time playing it. I would definitely recommend you give the beta a try when it rolls around. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. What are your concerns? Do you have questions, comments, things that you would like answered? Leave those questions down below. When I get back home to my actual recording setup and not in this under the blanket in my hotel room setup to dull out the echoes, I will make sure to answer those questions and get you everything you want to know and try to be as thorough as possible with all the questions you have. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, drop a like on it, subscribe for more Black Ops 4 videos coming very soon, and of course, click that little bell icon, get notified when my videos go live each and every day. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.